that don't know me, I am a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach, as well as a competitive powerlifter for over 10 years now. I got a great question this week that I really appreciated because this was something that puzzled me for quite some time and is ever changing as my needs and goals change. That question is, how much should I eat on training days versus non-training days? And this is not really a simple answer, hence why there's so much on my board. So I'm going to try to break this down for you in a way that you can understand, and hopefully you get something good out of this. So the first question is, what's your goal? Are you trying to cut or lose weight, or are you trying to improve your strength? If you're trying to cut weight, the amount of calories you need to be in a total deficit for the week is 3,500 per 1 pound that you want to lose. So if you take that 3,500 calories divided by 7 days per week, you have a 500 calorie deficit per day. This is an example on how to break that up for training versus non-training days. So on a non-training day, you ideally want to split it between exercise and food deficit. You don't want to solely do it through food. I put some notes down here. Reason being is you don't want to put yourself into starvation mode. If you drop your calories too much too quickly, your body will freak out. You can go in starvation mode. You can actually start retaining and holding on to more weight because your body is so stressed out and just shocked over the drastic loss of calories. You'll also be very tired and hangry. I'm not a good tired or hungry person, and I know that's the same for a lot of you. So in order to avoid that, you want to have a plan for your weight loss. So for non-training days, you could split that 500 calorie deficit between food. So you can do a 250 calorie deficit and 250 through exercise. And ideally, if it's a non-training day, you want to use low impact methods such as walking. On training days, you obviously want more calories so that you can still perform in the gym. So your food deficit is going to be lower. You could go with 100 to 150 calorie deficit and then make up the difference of 300 or 400 calories through whatever exercise you're doing that day. That's just an example. This is not a recommendation on what you should do. Everybody's needs are different, so that's just to give you an understanding. If your goal is to improve strength, you want to be eating closer to what your theoretical calorie burn is, and I'm going to go into that in just a minute. If you want to improve or increase your muscle mass, you want to be at your theoretical calorie burn or slightly above. You don't want to go too above, because if you're getting in too many excess calories, then you're obviously going to be putting on fat and not just muscle. If you're under eating and you know you're under eating, you know that you just don't eat enough, you are going to want to increase your calories over time. You don't want to just calculate how many calories you should be eating and then jump from, let's say, a very drastic low calorie intake to increasing it by 500, 600 or more calories. You want to do steady increases over time to get your metabolism used to burning those calories up closer to your theoretical calorie burn. So how to calculate your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, which in essence is how many calories your body needs just to be alive. So without any sort of exercise or activity, just what your body needs to function. That's your BMR. This is the Harris-Benedict equation. I don't know if you'll see this very well, so I'll take a picture that we can include at the end of this so you can see this a little bit better. There are also calculators online which make it a lot easier so you don't have to do all this hand math, but I'm just going to break it down so you kind of have an understanding. For men, your BMR is going to be 88.362 plus 13.397 times your weight in kilograms plus 4.799 times your height in centimeters minus 5.677 times your age in meters. For women, your BMR is going to be 447.593 plus 9.247 times your weight in kilograms, plus 3.098 times your height in centimeters, minus 4.330 times your age in years. And that sounds very complicated, so calculator might be your best bet when you're trying to figure that out. Now that, again, is without any activity. So being that most of us don't live in bed and we have to eat and digest food and things like that, you want to be eating above your BMR, otherwise you fall into that danger zone of being in that starvation mode. So here's an activity multiplier. Little to no exercise, you're going to take 1.2 times your BMR. Light exercise is 1 to 3 days per week, not very intense. That's going to be 1.375 times your BMR. Moderate exercise, 3 to 5 days per week, you're increasing your intensity more as well. That's 1.55 times your BMR. And then heavy exercise or high intensity at 5 to 7 days per week is 1.725 times your BMR. So this is just to give you an idea of what your theoretical calorie burn is. Obviously, there are many factors that play into this. Different types of health conditions like thyroid disorders can impact how many calories you burn. So again, this is just theoretical and it gives you a guideline if you're a person that does track. Do you need to track how many calories you're eating? No, certainly not. If you know that you're eating too little, you can start increasing what you're eating through healthy sources first. So obviously you want to make sure you are prioritizing your protein. A general recommendation is at least a gram per pound of lean mass. This is necessary for building and repairing muscle tissue, and obviously the more muscle mass you have, the more metabolic tissue you will carry, and therefore you will be burning more calories on a daily basis. So that's why a lot of people recommend some sort of resistance training in order to have more long-term results, because the more muscle you have on your body, the more calories you're going to burn every day. And then as far as carbs go, you can eat more carbs on training day. You definitely want to make sure you're using healthy sources and you're not overdoing it because it's a training day. Like, oh, I'm training today, so I'm going to have carbs at every single meal and just eat as many carbs as I want. You don't really want to do that. You can focus more on maybe 1 to 2 meals with some extra carbs, and plan those more around your training, so before and after your training. This way your body has what it needs to perform, and that's your goal, is you want to make sure that you are well fed so that your performance is good. And then some other things to pay attention to here is you need to listen to your body and track your performance. If you're somebody that is actively in strength training or some sort of sport, some indicators that you might need more calories would be if you're regressing. If you're getting weaker despite following your program or your coach's program and getting adequate rest. If you're doing those things and you're regressing, it's likely that you're not getting in enough fuel. There are other symptoms to look out for, like extreme constant fatigue, weakness, lightheadedness, dizziness, shaking, or blood sugar issues. Now there can be other health factors again with those symptoms, but if it's pretty constant and you just have a feeling that you're not eating enough and you're having those symptoms, especially revolving around exercise, it's likely that you might need to start trying to eat a little bit more and seeing if that resolves the issue. If adding some more calories to what you're eating resolves those symptoms, then it's likely that you just weren't getting in enough calories. Another thing to look out for is if you're losing weight too quickly. A lot of people think, oh, I just want to lose weight really fast, I want to get to my goal, and they're very eager. But you want to do it steadily, because if it's too quick, you're risking losing muscle, and then over time, your metabolism is going to slow down, you're not going to have as much metabolic tissue, and a lot of people can become what's called skinny fat, because your body doesn't need to hold on to a lot of muscle. And if you're not getting enough calories, it's going to start storing fat to make sure that it has enough food because you're not feeding yourself enough. So that's why you really want to make sure that you're not losing weight too quickly. You know, steady weight loss over time is definitely the way to go, especially if you're a performance athlete and you care about your strength and your performance in whatever sport you're doing. So this was a lot of information, and I hope that it all made sense. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below or send me a message. Also, if you are wanting to get into tracking, it's good to have someone guide you, at least initially, using a nutrition coach or somebody that is well versed in how to track and how to teach you, more importantly, so that you know long term how to monitor your progress, pay attention to how you're feeling, so that you can get the best results that you're looking for over time. Well, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the questions. If there's any other topic that you're not sure of and you want me to answer, just send me a message and I'll do my best to cover it. Thanks so much. See you next time.